everyone. Welcome back to the 6-month podcast series where I am diving into all the things that I'm working on because I quit my job. I quit my 9 to 5. We are now in week 6 of full-time self-employment, and it has been an amazing journey so far. So this podcast series is all about diving into the things that I'm working on, the strategies that I'm putting into place, the systems that I'm putting into place, the mindset that I have been cultivating so that we can really make some magic happen over these next 6 months. And I feel like magic has already been happening in these past 6 weeks. So I am so freaking excited for today's episode. If you caught last week's episode, I said at the end of that episode, I'm really excited for the next one. I feel like there's something that I'm going to be sharing with you. I feel like something is going to happen. That is what I said in the last episode. And I am here to say that something did happen, something very magical. And I'm so freaking excited. So I'm just going to go ahead, and that's how we're going to start it off today. So I have been feeling the call over maybe like the past 6 months or so to support our women on a deeper level. So if you're not a part of our membership already, or you're not an exclusive member within the Empowered by Women community, what we do offer our exclusive members is weekly Womentum calls. Womentum, not momentum, okay? Because Womentum is when you put yourself in the room with other powerhouse women, and that is how you start building your momentum, right? By being in that kind of space and energy where everyone is ambitious and everyone understands what it is that you're going through as an entrepreneur, and everyone wants to genuinely see you win. That's momentum. So we have these weekly calls every Mondays at noon PST, and then also every Tuesdays now at 9 a.m. PST, where we are doing some mindset work. We are doing some hot seat coaching and asking our girls, like, what are you currently working on in this moment? What is the goal? How do we support you in that, right? So for example, in one of our last calls, we had a girl that was, she is trying to build up her clientele, of course, but she often feels like the need to, she wants to still come from a place of service and just like help the people that are looking for the help, but might not have the financial means to do it. So the conversation that we had when it was her time to be put into the hot seat coaching was like, how do you approach this when someone is asking to work with you, but like can't cover it financially? So we talked about the different options of, you could offer it this way, and position yourself this way with your messaging in terms of like, you really need to respect your own boundaries, and you just frankly, the value that you offer and the transformations that you need, like they have to be able to invest in the full course to be able to see the transformation and to make sure that your work and their experience with you is the full experience. Like they can walk away from it feeling that they got the most value out of you and feeling so excited and lit up about the work that you offer them, that they're excited to tell people about it, right? To tell people about their transformation. So one of the things was just this is just one of those opportunities where you get to practice honoring your boundaries and figuring out the communication behind that, because that's very well something that we all need to be able to do, is to honor our boundaries, to put boundaries in place to begin with, and then to be able to honor them after the fact, but still have that open communication with our clients and our audience and the people that we're serving. And then another option was, is there some kind of trade agreement that you could put into place? Like, what does her following look like? What other events is she a part of where maybe it's not, maybe she will come in as a client that you're offering your service to pro bono, but at the end of the day, she is inviting you or introducing you to these people that host really big events and has all of your ideal clients, and you're going to be able to position yourself in front of those clients if you are to help her. Like, is there some kind of possibility there where you can get creative with what your trade agreement is? This is not what this call is supposed to be about, but that is an example of what we go over on our weekly strategy calls, our weekly momentum calls. And there have been so many times, whether it's in those calls or in the DMs or at certain events, where some of our women are telling me about their brands, telling me about their goals, and the way my brain naturally works is it starts going into hyperdrive coming up with all these ideas and these grand visions for the women that are sharing their stories with me. And I just want to be like, oh my gosh, I want to help you do that. Oh my gosh, we should do this and this. And did you put this system in place? And let me help you build that. Like that's where I have been feeling called to serve. But speaking of boundaries, I know that I just simply do not have the capacity to offer that deep of level of support without being compensated for it. Like, it just would not make sense for me to spread myself so thin for the sake of coming from a place of service, if that would ultimately lead me to burnout, and meaning that I can't even serve the people in our community, right? So I had a day like at the end of last week where I just woke up feeling like in this really amazing energy. I dropped all the kids off. I even had a really great home workout. And for all of my folks that try to get home workouts in, it's tough. It is not easy to get a really good home workout in because it's so easy to be distracted. You don't have all the equipment. We do have a bench and like some adjustable weights. And I did a really good workout in that day. And I was just like riding this high of the emotion that I was in, and just like the frequency that I was operating in that day. And I was just really leaning into it. So after the workout, what I also did, had some breakfast, and then I opened up my journal, your business profitable journal, from our girl, Jackie Vasquez, who is the money mindset expert in manifestation experience. And I did some money journaling about like a money mindset. And I think that day, the prompt was to write like a love letter to money. I want to say that's what the day it was. And I was really just like feeling so grateful for everything, right? So a lot of my love letter was, thank you for the opportunity. I'm sorry that I didn't understand you in the beginning, but I'm so excited and so grateful that I have the opportunity to get to learn more about you and that we're building this beautiful relationship. And I am grateful for you for allowing me to pursue all these opportunities, right? I'm grateful for you allowing me to take care of my babies and to take care of our family and to have this beautiful home that we live in and to put food on the table and all of that good stuff. And I was just riding this high. And then I felt the pull again, like, you got to support these women. You got to do something. And I wasn't sure, like the thing with one-on-one coaching, it was also kind of like, again, I was afraid of spreading myself too thin. And I didn't want to pull myself away from building the Empowered by Women community and membership. But then I realized I had caught myself in this moment of thinking, what would it look like if I were to go back and get a 9-to-5? And this wasn't coming from a place of like, oh my gosh, like, this is not working. I'm feeling like I'm like terrified that I'm not going to make ends meet, blah, blah, blah. This was just like coming out of just genuine curiosity. What would it look like if I were to go back to a 9-to-5? Like, what kind of job would I want to look at? What kind of experience would I want to have? These were the just questions that started coming up. And then I like had a moment where I had to like pause. And I was thinking to myself, wait, Crystal, like, you would actually consider going back to a 9-to-5 before considering offering one-on-one coaching? Like, how does that make sense? Because if you go to a 9-to-5, it's going to take you away from the business so much more than offering a one-to-one coaching, which is supplementary to your business, right? Which allows you to continue serving, but in a bigger capacity. And you're getting to work for yourself. Like, why would you choose to work for someone else when you can just spend those hours on yourself and like bring in the same, if not more money? And it's already leaning to more money. And I was like, you know what? Okay, that was just like such a light bulb moment for me. Because why? Like, what? It didn't even make sense. It didn't make sense to consider bringing on a part-time job that has nothing to do with my business than for me to bring on something quote unquote part-time, which is adding more value to the business, even though it's taking away. I'm having to carve out some time from building the membership and doing all the things that go along with that. It's bringing in the revenue that I know I'm going to need to sustain myself and my business and my family in the future. And it's continuing to add another layer of value to my offer for the world and to our community. So I said, yes, we're going to do it. We are pushing forward. I'm offering one-to-one coaching. And I gave it like some really quick thought. I was like, you know what? I know that there's so much on my plate right now. I'm not even going to get like ridiculously hyper specific and so hyper focused on creating the perfect program or whatever workflow. Like, I know like my brain power is where the magic is. And that all is going to flow naturally when I have these conversations with whoever my clients are going to be. Like, I know that is how I function and that's how my brain works. So it wouldn't make sense to try to figure out like all of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to the 50th step here and now and overwhelm myself with what does the process look like, and then finally launch like a few months later. I did not want to do that. I knew that I wanted to support our women in getting visible and getting creative with whatever their partnership strategies are, their brand visibility, because that's where my genius is. And I knew that I just wanted to have it be kind of like this fluid program where I was allowing myself to step into my creativity and my innovation, and we were able to kind of like create something together. So the way that I decided to set it up, and I made this decision in like less than an hour, was it's going to be a 3-month program, and we're going to do 5 one-to-one 1-hour strategy sessions. Right? You get to tell me what your goals are, and then we're going to break it down through those 5 sessions. And I'm going to support you with building out your visibility strategy, but also creating all of the foundational things behind the scenes so that we can hit your visibility goals. And this was happening like so fast, me like making the decision and me like figuring out what I want to charge, what does the structure look like. And then literally I hopped on a call with someone that had booked a call with me for a while. I was not planning on like announcing my one-to-one coaching that literal very day. But again, I know how I operate. And as this girl was talking, as I was learning more about her story and her goals, and telling her more about like Empowered by Women and what the community offers, she just felt like the most perfect client for me to take on. And my mind was already running rampant with all of the ideas of how I wanted to support her and the strategies that I would want to put in place for her to build her visibility, put different strategic partnerships in place so that she could really blow up her brand. And so again, just leaning into my intuition and what felt really good and what felt right in the moment, I let her know. I said, I literally just decided I'm going to be launching this one-on-one offer, and I think you would be a perfect fit for it. Like, these are, I kind of gave her a general overview of like, these would be what my goals are for you, and I would love to support you in achieving those goals. And she said, yeah, send over the proposal. Like, let me take a look at it. Let me get to know a little bit more about your community. But she didn't shut me down. And I was just like lit up. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm sending out my first proposal today. Or so I sent it out. Like, I created it so quickly on Canva. I just picked some random template. I threw my picture on there. I reworded all of the fake text that's on there. And I said, okay, this feels really, really good. Again, I did not let myself have too much time to overthink it, to overcomplicate it. That's not the kind of energy that I want to welcome into my life. I want to welcome in simplicity. I want to welcome in all of this like intuitive goodness where I can just feel it in my bones. Like, this is what I'm supposed to offer, and this is the way that it's supposed to be. And I was just leaning into that. I made no room for any kind of limiting beliefs. I said, we're going to do this. It feels really good. I'm going to take on 3 clients because that's what my capacity feels like. And so I sent over the offer, and then I was just riding this high from sending over that offer that I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and casually share it on my IG stories. So I did that. I didn't create any other kind of post. I didn't like create some kind of announcement on my email newsletters. I literally just got on IG stories and said, I have been feeling called to offer this, and now I'm finally offering it. And literally I put like a poll on IG stories saying like, would you be interested in this? Yes, maybe, no, thanks. And I had one person that said yes. And I sent over that email proposal, and we hopped on a discovery call like that day. And she was like, yes, girl, you don't even need to sell me. Did I hop on it that day? No, I think we hopped on the following day, but she said yes to me. And then I sent over the proposal. She said, I love it. Everything looks good. Let's do it. Even after like she saw my prices already. And then we hopped on a call the following day. I sent over the agreement. I sent over the invoice, and I booked my first client. How crazy is that, right? And I was like, what? Like, I just had to hug someone that day, and Daniel got home, and then I gave him a big fat hug. And then I was like, oh I just feel like this is really like what I was called to do. And I don't feel like it's taking away from Empowered by Women, which is what I was kind of like nervous about in the beginning. I'm so excited to be able to offer both, right? And to support women in multiple different levels and capacities. And so I was just over the moon. And then I kept checking on the poll to see like who else was interested in potentially taking me up on this offer. I had someone else say yes. I actually had two people say yes. But one, she was kind of like going back and forth. Like I was going to reach out to someone else, but then I saw your offer and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to force you to do it. I'll send over the proposal so you can take a look, but whatever like feels good to you, like I want you to feel like, I want you to listen to your intuition as well, right? You are already thinking about working with someone. So take a look at both proposals and then just listen to your heart and listen to your soul. And I'm good either way. Like, even though you're one of my members, you're one of my girls, like we're bringing you onto the team, like there is no pressure. This is not a competitive environment. That's literally what Empowered by Women is, right? It's about community. It's about collaboration. It's about helping each other win. And I'm not going to compete for your attention if you feel like your energy is more aligned somewhere else in the season that you're in. Like, I'm good with that. And I want to lean into that. I'm not going to launch these offers from scarcity where I'm feeling like I'm having to convince and fight for my clients. Like, I know in my heart and soul, like that is not what my offer is going to be. Like, my dream clients are coming to me and I'm welcoming that in wholeheartedly. So aside from her, I had another one that said, girl, yes, like I have been needing this. Like, I love the way that like you lead and the way that you support women. And that's the kind of energy that I need to be in. We hopped on a discovery call yesterday, booked her. And so now we have 2 of our 3 clients and a third one pending who did already look at my proposal and said she wants to do it, but we just have not yet actually solidified it. So all in the span of less than a week, I decided to make the offer. I made the offer and I've already booked 2 of my 3 clients with the third one pending. And I'm just like a little bit mind blown, but also not very surprised because I feel like I just like knew all of these amazing things were going to happen. And like I said, at the very last episode, at the end of the last episode, I said, I feel like something's going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm going to have some good news for you. So we manifested that shit, baby. And I am just like over the moon. And I already like created the Notion pages for like their client portal where we have all of the goals mapped out. And I'm so excited to support them on this journey. So if you are tuning in and listening to this and you're wanting that kind of high level support and more in-depth support where we really get to break down your goals and not just talk about like the surface level stuff, but like really go in deep with like what systems and foundational work you're putting in place so that you can show up as the leader that you are and the expert and the authority that you are, and so that you can start landing the dream partnerships and showing up on the stages or launching that book or getting your dream clients, whatever it is. Like, if you're looking for that kind of support, send me a DM. Let's chat. I'm not sure if the structure is going to remain the same after these 3 clients. I know that's just what it felt good in the time. And I want to be able to go through the full 3 months with these clients and then see where I'm feeling and what's needed as we restructure the offer. But I know that it's definitely going to be an offer that I'm going to continue to have in the future where I'm supporting people one-on-one. So I'm super excited for it. Again, if you are at all interested, send me a quick DM on IG and we will stay connected. If you are not sure if you're ready to invest in the one-to-one support, girl, join the community. Come be a part of our weekly momentum calls where we can still support you in building your strategy and figuring out like, what are you missing? Where are the gaps? What do you need to build on the back end? How are you showing up on the front end? All of the good stuff. There's so much support around you. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to share is that we had a virtual networking event last Friday in partnership with Harvest Goal Collective, and we brought in like, I want to say like close to 20 women, and it was such a great time. I love being in the space. We're actually going to be doing it quarterly just because the energy is so much fun. But one of the prompts, Stephanie, who's the founder of Harvest Goal Collective, one of the prompts that she gives us during this networking event is, what is your pie in the sky goal? And we hosted this virtual networking event in January of this year and had that same prompt. And as we were preparing for this call, I was looking back at the notes that I had taken from January, and my pie in the sky goal that I had written before was one of them, I had a few different goals, but one of them was to get on TV. And now 4 months later, I was like, holy shit, like I did that. Like that was my pie in the sky goal for the year. And I did it in a few months, and I didn't even realize that. Like I didn't realize that was a goal that I proclaimed out loud. And then I actually went and did that thing. Like that is amazing. And it was just like another like very surreal moment for me. And it just made me think of like, how are you actually tracking your goals? Are you writing them down? Are you working towards it? And then are you giving yourself time after the fact to reflect on the goals that you have, to reflect on your progress, to celebrate your wins, to celebrate the goals that you did achieve along the way? We're often so go, 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 go that we're not stopping to smell the roses and to celebrate all of our wins, big and small. But it was so cool to see that I had written that out as my pie in the sky goal, meaning like, I don't know how this is going to happen. It feels a little uncomfortable. It feels potentially unrealistic. And that shit happened in just a few months' time, which is really freaking amazing. So now I'm switching that from being on TV, check, to becoming a published author. That is still very much a goal this year. Another one of the goals that I wrote down in January as my pie in the sky goal was to speak on 5 stages. So I've already done one in February, kind of 1.5, because the half was for the mastermind and it was a smaller group of women, but it was still speaking on someone else's stage, quote unquote, I feel like. So 1.5. And I've done 2 virtual summits with a potential third, and a couple of intimate panelist events that we've hosted, Empowered by Women, within our own community, where we're co-hosting events with our members with different venues. So that as well. And I've been invited to 2 larger summits at the end of the year in September and October. So I feel like that is very much well on its way to also being checked off. And it's just so cool to be in this space where you're not only allowing yourself to dream as big as humanly freaking possible, but you are so committed to deepening that belief in yourself to actually do the thing, that you are actively taking steps every single day to work your way towards it. And it's okay if you don't hit that goal right away. It's okay if you don't hit that goal this year or in the next couple of years. But the fact is that we get to decide what we're showing up for every single day and how we're showing up for it. We get to be intentional in those decisions. We get to commit to ourselves every single day of how badly we want the thing that we want. And it's up to us to decide, are we going to let the negative thoughts, the doubt, the self-fear take control of our lives? Or are we going to say, hell no, like you don't belong here. I'm going to go and do the thing because I want this for myself. And I'm so excited. And I know that I am so freaking worthy of having it. And that I am just oozing with value that I need to offer to the world. And people are going to pay me that value. And they're going to know that I have to offer it because I'm willing to put myself out there and tell people what it is that I have to offer. You get to make that decision for yourself. You get to decide what your normal looks like. I think we talked about this in the last episode. I feel like for me, like my new normal now is celebrating all of these wins because I continue to take action towards my goals, like relentlessly taking action towards them because I know that something is going to happen for me and there's no reason for me to stop my momentum now. Yeah, I am. I hope you can feel my energy. Like I am just feeling it like running through my veins and my body. And I just feel so good about the work that I'm doing. I feel so grateful to have this opportunity and to have had the universe like kind of like throw me into it, saying like, Crystal, like stop playing around, go do the thing that you know you're meant to do. Like that is amazing. So really quick before I hop off, let's talk a little bit about like back end foundational work again, because I feel like this is a really important conversation. It's not just about having the dreams and believing in yourself. Creating a foundational system on the back end is so important so that you can keep showing up with your best foot forward, right? As opposed to feeling like you have like a scrambled head and you're in a million different places doing a million different things and you're spread so thin that you can't even focus and give your attention to where it's needed most. So what I started doing to support the continued growth that we're experiencing, I've mentioned that I have a couple of VAs and I've actually increased their hours, and I am kind of testing out, like, have I been a little bit too controlling? And I know that so many of us that are entrepreneurs, we feel that way, right? Where we like, this is our baby. Like we can't let anyone take control of it. They're going to mess it up, blah, blah, blah. But if your goal is to grow a team, grow your business, you will probably need to grow a team, right? If you want to scale, you will need to grow a team. If you want to keep offering all of these different things, and for us, we have so many different moving parts, we need a team. And I know that I can't be in a position where I'm just constantly hand-holding with my team. Like I need to be able to empower them to make the decisions that will count, right? And to take a load off of my plate. So as opposed to what I kind of did before, where I was like very, very slowly giving them an extra hour here and there for like ad hoc tasks, because I wanted to make sure everything was like perfect and right before I gave them more responsibility. I'm like, you know what? We're going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to give you more responsibility, a little bit less supervision, and you get more hours, because I want you to feel like this is also your platform to take care of. And when I put the onus, like when we put the onus on our team to be like, this is also now yours to nurture, like you are an integral part of this conversation and what we're building. It's not just me telling you to do something. You are now a part of it. Like you take that on differently, right? So I've increased their hours. I've given them more responsibility so that I can take off even more of the administrative, tedious tasks off of my plate, and I can focus on the bigger visionary things, the dream partnerships that we want to put together, the value that we're offering to our members, and also now this one-on-one coaching that I'm offering to different clients. So oh my gosh, I felt like I just like said a million words, but I am so lit up. And I'm grateful that you guys are sticking along during this 6-month podcast series with me so you can help me celebrate my wins, virtual hugs. And so we can also win together, because that's what it's all about, right? So I would love if you went ahead and just screenshotted this, that you're tuning into this podcast, whether YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go ahead and post it on IG stories. Tag us in it. I would love to repost. I would love to say thank you. And you are amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting me and loving on me. And I am sending that love right back to you. And I will see you next week.